Getting to a couple $1,000s in ad spend per day is easier than you think. In this video today, I'm going to tell you everything I know about e-com after multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue, and going to give you little action steps that you can implement and make more money today, not tomorrow. Since I'm not here to waste my time, not here to waste your time, let's get right into it. The first thing that I want to talk about is the quality that you need when it comes to tests. And there's a couple things which you can implement right now, which will immediately make you more money. It doesn't matter if you're testing something right now, if you have tested something in the past, if you're scaling, if you're going to test something in the future, whatever you're doing, this is going to make you more money. First thing, every time you test something, and if you already scale, implement a Google brand search campaign, right? It's going to make you more money immediately, because there's always going to be people that click off of your website after they clicked on your ad, and the expensive customer that you paid for, if you do not have Google Ads set up at the very basic limit, like a brand search campaign with the only keyword being your brand name, then that customer that you paid for expensively, right, high CPMs on Facebook, TikTok, wherever, is just going to buy from your competitors, right? Because they're not going to find you. Even if you have search engine optimization like dialed in, they're still going to buy from a competitor who just has your brand name as their keyword, right? And the more sophisticated, the more saturated your product is, the higher the chance that they will just buy somewhere else, right? The more competition there is, the higher the chance that someone already uses your brand name to run ads, or even just has, like, for that specific product, is the top listing on Google, and then he's just going to get all the money, right? He's just going to get your expensive customer that you paid for. And so if you do not have Google Ads set up, you're missing out. All right. Second thing is test your products with email marketing set up. Like, again, very basic, just some flows for the abandoned carts, abandoned checkouts. So what you should do is every time that you test a new product, send them 3 emails. Send everyone that abandons their checkout 3 emails immediately. You will see immediately you will get better results when it comes to testing stuff, because a lot of those people will come back and purchase from you. And so your first couple creative tests will be much more profitable, and you will have much more data to work with. And also, email marketing is something which you're going to need regardless. And so you should have the highest possible quality in every single test that you do. Third thing, start with an offer split test. You have to split test your offers when it comes to testing products. And it's kind of crazy that no one else talks about this, but at the end of the day, if you do not have 2 different offers that you test, and in the beginning I like to test 2 different offer structures, so it could be a normal buy one get one with a free gift versus like a bundle discount, or a low upfront high shipping, or a bundle with 2 different products that's more expensive. Whatever you do, right, just have 2 different offers and just track which one makes you a higher revenue per visitor. And all of your website success depends on your offer. I promise you. There's terrible, ugly websites doing super well because this product market fit, or like this, the offer is just dialed in. The offer, the product, everything is just perfect. The ads are sending high quality, cheap traffic to the store, and the offer is good. Easy money, right? And that is it. That's all it takes. Okay, your offer makes or breaks your entire website. If your offer is bad and your website and your copy and your media, everything is good, you will not make any money. Whereas if everything's terrible, looks like shit, scammy 2012 website, but your offer is perfect, you will still make money. There's terrible, ugly websites that are making millions right now just because their offer is so good, and the ads are sending so much higher quality traffic, cheap traffic to the store. And that's why you have to iterate when it comes to creative testing, which I'm going to get into. Fourth thing is you have to start testing products with upsell split tests too. And the first upsell that you have should have like a 25 to 35, maybe even 40% take rate. So you have to have an extremely high take rate when it comes to your first upsell. And a lot of people forget about it, because an upsell is actually, in a lot of cases, when it comes to fluctuations on the ad side, for example, on Facebook, right? Upsells are the thing which makes them barely profitable, maybe even breaking even, maybe even unprofitable, to very profitable. Okay, so like a 30% increase in your conversion rate, like when it's a Monday or Tuesday, ads are bad, can actually, make the biggest difference in the world. It can make you from extremely profitable to very, very, very unprofitable. Okay. And so if you don't have upsells, emails, Google ads, then you will be outbid, outscale by all your competitors, and you have to scale super aggressively. You have to think outside the box. You have to put in more time, more money, and more effort into every single test. And then you still have to test everything you test with a very high volume. Okay, so that's why I want you to start with a one-click upsell split test. So basically, one click is just, after they already bought, they get like another offer upsell page, and they just click and it immediately adds it to their order without having them to re-enter their credit card details, whatever. But you have to test with a split test. Because at the end of the day, it's the same thing with your offer. You're just limiting your chance of success if you only test one offer when it comes to testing a product. And the same thing goes with the upsell. And when it comes to the upsell split test, I don't mean two different offers for the same product. I actually mean two different upsell products, right? You could offer the same one versus another one, which makes sense, right? And then don't price it too expensively. And what's crazy is after you should have basically an upsell funnel, right? So after someone took that, you have a bunch of downsells, you have a bunch of upsells that come after that. And so what you can do, for example, is the first upsell that you offer can be super expensive, can be 5, 6, 10 times as expensive as the normal offer. And even if you only have like a 10% take rate, it will still make the craziest difference. Let's say your main offer costs $40, right? And then, you have like an upsell, which is $400. And let's say only 10% of people take that. But then the thing is, you're making so much more per every single order just because this 400 is so crazy, right? And this is a very good upsell strategy, often used in service businesses, but why not use it in e-com as well? You have to be creative. You have to think outside the box. With everything you do, you have to be completely different from what everyone else tells you. And so that's the most important thing, which you're going to hear in this video, because all these things, yes, they're going to make you more money immediately from today on, but you have to be creative. You have to add your own twist to everything that you do, and that's when things are going to start to work, I promise you, right? Even if you're at 0 now and just getting into it, or if you're already at 2K days, right? There's always stuff you can learn, and at the end of the day, you just have to be super different and completely like creative, and just have some place in your iPhone notes or a journal or whatever where you just type yourself, like your thoughts, right? Every time you have an idea, that's marketing, it's creativity, right? An ad creative has the word creative in it. If you copy everyone else, if you just rip what other people are doing, then nothing is going to work. And you already have seen that. You're already proven to yourself that nothing works. And so why not change the way that you do things? Because this is something which Alex Hormozi said, if you work all day and your business is not growing, then you're working on the wrong shit. And that is very, very true, especially in e-com. People are focusing on the completely wrong stuff. Example, websites, right? They're making the most beautiful websites, taking 5 days to make a website, but the offer is already there since day one, right? That's everything that matters. You can test a website if the offer is set up and it looks like shit. You can test it, right? Even if it's only one product picture, 0 reviews, if the offer is good, you will still make money, you will still get sales. And then you can optimize everything else later on, then get into conversion rate optimization. But in the beginning, you only need a strong, appealing offer. And so when it comes to the creative testing that you do, especially when you test products, it's actually, at the end of the day, it comes down to just having multiple angles that you test at the same time. And so if it's completely different, then also have 2 different landing pages, two different basically product pages that you test, right? So if you sell something towards like parents, and then the same product towards like dog owners, so then you could just go ahead and make 2 different product pages, right? Send the traffic, make a campaign for this, make a campaign for that, and then have an offer split test in each, right? So you technically have 4 different product pages. That works super well, and you can't just rely on one angle when it comes to testing stuff, because there's always going to be people that resonate more with one angle, like one offer, one angle, one landing page, and more people that basically resonate more with something else. And so you have to split test everything that you can just split test, and then you have to iteratively see what works and how you can make it better. And so every time you test multiple angles, you have to test with an extremely high volume when it comes to concepts and variations. So I like to do 3 variations each concept, just because I know that some hooks are better than others, some lengths are better than others, and there's 100 different things which people that react to specific concepts react to more, and you just can't know that, you can't guess that unless you actually test it. And so when it comes to concepts, that's where the fun part starts, because you can do 100 different concepts. You can do as much as your budget fits and as your time fits, basically. You should do a lot more concepts than you do right now. And I promise you're not doing enough, because at the end of the day, if you test 10 different concepts for each angle, right, every single product test, then you will find an audience which resonates with your offer, and you will find something that is profitable and that you can scale up. And because you only, and I'm going to remind you, and I think we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught, you only need one single variation within one of these millions of concepts, within one of the two angles, that is profitable, that you can scale up. You only need one. Even if you're losing money on the entire campaign, of course you are. Never going to happen that everything is profitable. However, if you test something and only one of that is very profitable, let's say you have a 5 ROAS within that one creative, you let it run for a second day, works again, scale it to the moon. And that's what you need to do. You can't just look at the entire campaign. Oh, well, I have a 0.2 ROAS, but one of the ads is having like a 10 ROAS. You can't turn off everything. You have to identify every single variation. And people are lazy when it comes to media buying. I've seen it happen. Like, people get super lazy when it comes to media buying, and they just look at the ad sets, they just turn off stuff, they get emotional about ad spend. But then e-com and paid ads is not for you, because you have to look at the numbers. You have to put in the time after the creative is already run. You have to leave your emotions out of the game and not get emotional about ad spend. That's very important, and it costs money. You will lose a lot of money in the beginning. And the more expensive your product tests are, the higher the chance that it's going to work. If you invest $10,000 into every single product test, then I guarantee that product test has a super high chance of working. Or maybe, after 2 to 3 product tests, I'm 100 million% sure that you're going to find a winner, right? But if you just test like with $10 and then you kill your product after $10, and nothing's going to work, right? Realistically, it's not 2017 anymore, where you upload something on the Facebook ad manager and just click start and everything starts to, with 10 cents CPMs, you get millions of sales. It's not going to happen, all right? It's not going to work. And so to be profitable, you have to be better than everyone else, because majority of dropshippers do not make any money, okay? So second topic, which I want to talk about, is your creative testing at scale. 80% of my time when I scale something goes to just refreshing a proven concept. Just take something that already works, make it better. And only 20% of my time and effort and budget, everything, goes into testing new concepts. Because when you're scaling, you don't want to add in a constantly new concept into your ad account. Obviously, you do want to do that. You do want to have multiple new winning angles, because your concept is going to fatigue too. However, if you just have a script that works, let it basically 10 different creators make the same script, right? Test all of those, and then make 3 variations each, right? Lengthen it, make it shorter, change the hook, change the music. You can do so much stuff when it comes to variations and refreshing proven concepts, and that's how people scale. Spend 80% of your time already improving upon proven stuff, and only 20% trying to pioneer new concepts, right? And that is how you make money, because I've seen a lot of times people find something that's profitable, start scaling it up, but then immediately they start testing 10 new concepts, and the creative tests are eating up all of the profits, and they're still unprofitable because they're testing too much new stuff, right? Obviously, at scale, like 70-80% of your budget has to run on your scale stuff, right? It can't be the case that majority of your money goes to the creative tests at scale. Of course, you're not going to be profitable, right? Think about it, okay? So this is very important. Keep this in mind, a very short one. Next very short topic, which I'm going to cover, which is super important, is your backend. And there's a quote which says, if you grow without solving your problems, you're growing your problems. And so you need backups for basically 2 main things. First one, ad account structure. Second one, payment processing account, okay? And these 2 are going to give you very big headaches. Realistically, doesn't matter if you have backups or not, you're going to have headaches with these. If you stick to e-com, it's going to happen regardless. Your Facebook ad account is going to get blocked, TikTok obviously as well, even Google, everything you do, native. So whatever whenever you run ads, you're going to have ad account issues. And also whenever you accept payments, you're going to have payment processing issues. It's just how these things work. And so what you have to do when it comes to ad accounts is you have to have a structure. You have to have a structure of multiple business managers and then multiple profiles attached to them and backups for everything that you can just plug into and keep running the ads. Because Facebook bans accounts in waves, which means like this is how the algorithm worked 10 years ago. Even if you've done nothing wrong, your ad account is going to get banned regardless anyways at some point in time. And so best practices for that one is, first of all, have backups for everything, have a pixel sharing structure, which I'm not going to get too deep into, but you can just look it up and basically figure it out yourself. And also when it comes to ad account stuff, try to get your percentage of rejected ads as low as possible, because ad accounts go down, for example, when you reach a certain limit of percentage of rejected ads. And so obviously don't get your ads rejected. I recommend looking through the entire meta policies and just seeing what can you change up, what is good, what is bad. And like you're gonna be surprised about a lot of stuff in the policies, because it's not just obvious illegal stuff. There's also very weird things in the meta policy, and so obviously please go through that. And the easiest way to get banned is to rip content from others, right? So obviously at scale you should definitely only use your own content, because the easiest way to get ads rejected or to just basically get your ad account completely fucked is just by completely ripping all the ads of your competition and ripping content and everything like that. And the algorithm is smarter than you. Chances are, like, it knows more, and so it's going to recognize that. Don't try to outsmart the algorithm, okay? Second thing is payment processing accounts. Okay, so that's very important to understand that obviously once you accept payments, it's going to happen to you regardless, especially beginners that struggle with, the time, that the speed that they fulfill their orders with. It happens a million times. And so, you're going to get holds, 10, 20% holds, 25 on Stripe. And it might even happen that your whole payment processing accounts go down, get 100% hold for 6 months, and you can't accept new payments. PayPal especially is going to give you a lot of headaches when it comes to this. However, this is just important that you never rely on one. Okay, so that's the main piece of advice about payment processors, is to never ever rely on only one. Always have like 5-6 merchant accounts that are all working, right? And the crazy thing about this though is that, for example, like a lot of people say, okay, I'm going to switch from Shopify payments to Stripe, but that's the same thing. So you're not switching to anything. You're going to get banned on Stripe too. So what you need to do is actually apply in a lot of different merchant accounts, like, checkout.com or authorize.net or Airwallex, Molly, Revolut Pay. All of these, you need to have accounts there, and a lot of them actually need you to provide some kind of proof that you already made money and fulfilled your orders and had been working. Like, let's say like 6-figure, they're gonna look at your bank transactions. So you need to understand that they are not going to accept you if you're a complete beginner. So make sure to use Shopify payments as much as possible, make as much money on that, and then make accounts immediately once you're eligible, right? Very important. Fourth thing, which I'm going to talk about, is an ad funnel. And ads are not only just making some cool creatives, sending them to the product page, and that's it, right? Not at all. And by ad funnel, I don't mean having like an advertorial and then like, the product page, whatever. I mean, really only on the ad account, you already can look at things in terms of a funnel. And that's super important. That's what no one really talks about, or at least like what I think is super important. And you basically have the top of funnel, right? Which is the people that have no idea who you are. Middle of funnel, people have already been to the website, for example. And then you have the bottom of funnel. People have already seen 5 of your ads. They maybe even have added to cart. They've engaged with your ads, liked it, whatever. They know who you are. They just need much different messaging than these people up here, right? And obviously, the more down you get in the funnel, the fewer people are in there. And so obviously, the bottom of funnel will perform better if you just have more top of funnel traffic. And so a lot of people say you don't even have to be extremely profitable on the top of funnel, because if you have a lot of people in the middle of funnel and the bottom of funnel, then you're going to get them anyways. You're going to get them later on. And so this is very important, that especially when it comes to branding, right? When you're building a brand, what's very important is that a lot of brands aren't even profitable up front. They just have all these people, they have great customer journey, and they all buy again. That's how a lot of brands operate. And so if you have someone that already bought from you once, let's say you're a big brand, and now you have them in the bottom of funnel, they already bought from you once, but you haven't bought that customer profitably. Well, what you can do again is just remind them with a bunch of email marketing and also a bunch of Facebook ads on the same ad account itself to buy again. Mention a new offer, new product drop. Like, optimally, you have a consumable product which people have to buy again if they want to keep using it. Okay, so you have so many choices to profit in the back end, and people are just telling you to make 10 good creatives and then to scale something until it dies, switch products. It's not how it works. Okay, again, it's 2025. Everything is super sophisticated. Like the skepticism of your customers is at its all-time high, and you're going to run into huge issues if you try to have the 2018 approach with ecom. Okay, you have to go with time. Strategies will change. The fundamentals will never change. Okay, so this is really why you have to dial in your marketing skills, which I'm also going to talk about soon. Okay, so up until $500 of spend a day, you only need, like I said before, one concept, one variation that works, right? This is how you get to a couple hundred, 500, maybe even above this in spend per day. Forget CBOs, forget Advantage Plus. All you need is an ABO campaign with one of these running profitably on a $500 budget. That's all. If you have this in place, then you can already make $1 to $2 grand a day. One variation, one winning ad. You don't need more. I promise you that. And a lot of people overstress this, right? They think, okay, I'm going to have something which has a 1.7 ROAS. So I'm going to put it into a lookalike and then I'm going to make a CBO. No, forget it. Forget it. You only need an ABO. You only need to increase the budget. And the only way to scale for you right now for below $2,000 in spend a day is to plug in multiple new creative tests into your same ABO campaign, right? So you don't even need to think about making a scaling campaign or duplicating your ABO, nothing. You don't need to do nothing. The only thing you need to do now is increase the budgets on the one that's working and test more creatives. Again, 80% of what's already proven, 20% new concepts, okay? And have multiple, like the majority of your ad spend run on the one that's working. That's how you profit. All right. But in the beginning, you don't want to profit too much. You want to test more. So it's fine if you're like below $500 in spend a day that you actually are not that profitable. It's just going to happen. It's just how these things usually work in the beginning. But then very quickly, you should get to around $2,000 in spend a day. And all you need to get to 2K in spend a day, right, is just to have multiple winning ads at the same time, all running on like a $500 budget a day. As simple as that. You still don't need to mess around with CBOs. And then once you have like 2.5, 3K in spend a day, once you have like 5 or 6 winning ads all running on $500 a day in your ad account, then take all of them, throw them into a CBO, and you're going to realize still only one of them is going to get all the spend. Right? Which is crazy, right? And so this is really very interesting. So you're going to figure out which one is your true winning ad. And that not only helps you with scaling to the moon, because a CBO is just super easy to scale. You just bump the budgets by 25 to 50% every single day. And that these CBOs, once you have like 5 winning ads before getting into CBOs, are super powerful. I've seen them run, not for myself, but I've seen them run on 20K ad spend days. So it's crazy. And also it's going to help you figure out which one is your true winning concept, winning variation, to just keep testing new ones, right? New creatives. And so your hit rate is going to go up. And that's what we need to improve on when it comes to creative testing, right? Let's actually take a look at something which is called market sophistication. And that's what I believe is super important. It's a fundamental. Definitely read Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. A very smart book, a very smart guy, very great, amazing, fantastic book. Changed my life. So one thing which you have to understand is every market, every level of every product, every niche is has a different level of sophistication, which means there's different amounts of competition. And the more sophisticated a market is, the more competition that's in a market, the higher the skepticism and also the satisfaction is from people. That's very important. So it's not only, oh, this is saturated, but first of all, people are much more skeptical and people are much more satisfied because they already found a solution that has worked, but they've also found 10 solutions that don't work. So you need to have bigger, newer claims to win in every single stage, right? So let's say everyone else is competing on price, let's say, okay? So what you could do is then, let's say it's like a level 2, level 3 sophistication. If everyone's competing on price, you can just hop in the market and actually take something which already like improve upon the product and have better claims than everyone else. So you compete on value, you provide more value so you can charge more. As simple as that. Now, let's say everyone already does this. Everyone has their different types of bigger claims, right? Then you have to understand that you have to come into the market with something which is, again, a new solution, right? Something which is just bigger than what everyone else is doing. And this is how successful market entries work. It's smart people that actually figure out what are all the other people competing with? How can I improve upon that? And it does not just mean having different ads, having a better offer. That's too basic. Again, you're trying to do it like 2017 style. It doesn't work like that anymore, right? Obviously, and this applies to every single business possible. For example, like if you take a look at for example, if you take a look at my mentorship, what everyone else is doing is they're just charging the same amounts of money. I have a guarantee that if you don't make the money back at the end of the mentorship, then you will keep getting free coaching until you do, for example, okay? So this is just a very quick thing about like how these things work, and you have to make bigger claims than everyone else, and I have to basically essentially provide more value. It all comes down to providing more value after a specific time frame, right? So for example, at the very most sophisticated market, like a level 5 sophistication, people basically have seen everything. I wouldn't ever sell a product in a level 5 sophistication, okay? And obviously you have to understand that these majority of like sophistication levels, these all apply to problem solving products, right? I'm not a big fan of selling clothing. It sells itself. It's easier. I've gotten comments about asking why it's easier, but at the end of the day, it just sells itself. It's nothing to do with real marketing, right? It's just there. If you drop ship it, obviously, if you have your own designs, if your clothing products are like some type of niche, so if that's the case, then of course it's marketing, it's your work. But at the end of the day, if you just drop ship a dress, or if you just drop ship some pants, right, it has nothing to do with actually your marketing skills. It just feels cool. But you're gonna get, once all the refunds start coming in, once all the chargebacks get in, it's not fun, okay? I've been there. I've done that, okay? So number 8, which I'm going to talk about, last thing, is which skills to learn and which skills should you forget. I'm going to give you 2 skills that you have to learn after watching this video, because at the end of the day, all this advice that I'm giving you is worth nothing if you don't actually go ahead and apply it into your business. First one is obviously marketing. Second one is sales. So why sales? Sales is everything. Everything, especially in business, but even outside of it, is sales. Everything is sales. So to change their behavior, right? And so the only difference between sales and manipulation is your intention. If you want to help them, it's sales. If you want your own benefit and it harms them, it's manipulation. Okay? So that's the only difference. Now, you have to learn how to sell, because that's what you're doing in e-com, my friend. You're selling real products to real people. Okay? You want to make money, and best case, you also want to help your customers, because let me let you in on a little secret. If your business doesn't get results, including e-com, it's not a business, and it's not going to be run for long term, okay? If your business, if your customers don't get value from you, your store is not going to exist in 3 months. I promise you. It has to provide value. It has to work, and you actually have to deliver upon what you promise. And getting a sale, getting someone to buy, is only the very first step, right? And then marketing is one-to-many sales. That's what you're doing. You're having a one-to-many version of selling stuff, right? So in sales, you could just go out and say the name of your prospect. You could say, "Hey John, so this is what we're selling. We're selling this projector." All right, let's take the worst product that I have in mind. Let's take this projector. John, so this is basically, okay, John, what have you been looking for, right? So this, whatever, right? You know, all the sales tactics, okay? So then once you have that in place, what you're gonna do is, obviously marketing is one to many, so you can't say their name, you can't ask them directly what they've been looking for, you can't ask them questions, but you can actually understand your audience and actually make ads specifically tailor-made for them and make them feel like whatever you upload there is specifically made for them and for no one else. And this is only coming down to a couple steps, which is first of all understanding your customer avatar, having your dream customer at all times in mind, and then figuring out what they need, what they want, and just give it to them. Tell them what they want to hear. That is marketing, okay? That's what you have to understand. And if you want to be a successful marketer, then you have to be creative and you have to learn it by doing it, okay? No course, nothing, no YouTube video is going to teach you marketing. The only thing that's going to teach you marketing is when you go ahead and actually apply it. And so that's pretty much it. That's what I'm going to end this video on. I want to say thank you for giving me your time and your attention, which are truly, and I mean this, your most important assets, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. And so thanks again for watching. I wish you a beautiful day.